What's going on, guys? Welcome to this first video of the color grading series in DaVinci Resolve. My name is Jeremy, I'm a director and colorist from the Netherlands, working around the globe with my team to create awesome projects for our clients. We are targeting at delivering high value content, split up in different services like creating concepts for commercials, full productions on set, and of course color grading. So, why do we call this high value content? Well, if you think about the worth of the product you're making, it makes sense that all details matters, and we invest a lot of time in creating something which, for instance, sell a product or can tell a story. In this video, we're also gonna check out an example at how storytelling works with colors. Because as you might know, colors are linked to feelings for both the audience as well as the characters who's playing in a specific scene. Later on, we're going to take a look at different movie references and trying to analyze what the value for these are and how we could add these to our own productions. But before we jump in, a bit more about myself. So, I've started this journey around 8 years ago when I've picked up a camera for the first time. By already coming from the creative industry as an audio engineer, I've noticed a lot of similarities, but I've had no experience whatsoever in camera techniques, let alone color grading. Also, at that time, grading was pretty new to the consumer market, and there wasn't really a lot of information about it on YouTube, for instance. So I spent hours and hours to learn the software on my own with the projects I was working on at that time, which were mostly music videos. But I think the hardest thing back then was to create consistent work, as I didn't know anything about the technical aspects. For example, transforming log footage, analyzing the scopes correctly, or understand how colors works with the use of color spaces. So as you can already see, there is a lot of information going on that we need to know before we can start pulling the blues in the shadows and orange in the midtones. But first, let's take a look at one of my favorite scenes and how these colors can create an atmosphere.
Sorry, bro, but we had to make it look like you ain't do this. Check it out, man. The cops are gonna kick down the door any second, bro. Even if they know that you did this, bro, I'm still gonna go down longer. Come here, bro. Listen to me. Just go out there and surrender. It's all on me, bro. You hear me? They gonna come in here. They gonna find me with the knife in my hand. Tell them you have nothing to do with this. Listen to me. I did this. I killed this. You heard me? Not you. Come on. Go wash your hands. I love you, brother.
You see how colors relate to the characters of the scene, in this case family, and can have a huge impact on the audience. Of course, this is a high budget production, but still it's important to know how these can influence feelings. The good news is also that we can apply this to our own footage by creating color palettes like in set design, styling or color grading. If you're watching this, you've probably already played around with the color wheels, but what about the technical aspects I've spoken earlier about? Let's check it out. Number 1. Calibrating your monitor. The reason why we need to calibrate a monitor is so that it's producing a neutral white with no color shifts. All monitors look different, but we want to make sure that we're looking at accurate colors. This way we can ensure our delivery is looking consistent across all devices. I am using the X-Rite Pro to calibrate my reference monitor, but there are other options on the market as well. For now it doesn't really matter, but it's definitely something for you to look into. Number 2. Color spaces. Color spaces refers to a group of colors, which is the representation for displays in our case. For example, computer monitors, televisions, and other devices with a screen. But this needs a bit more explanation to understand it, so we will look into this later. For now, just remember the color space Rec 709, as this is the one we're going to use in a project. Number 3. Color management. This is where Resolve comes in. There are multiple ways to set up color management, like for instance on the top level, which we call project-based. This will affect all of our clips from the project. We can also transform our footage for each clip separately by using the color space transform tool in the FX tab. or we can use a lookup table to transform our log footage to a good starting point. Number 4. Scopes. There are a couple of different scopes to read our data. For example, the waveform will give us a better understanding about where our exposure levels are in the footage we're using. The darkest part of our image will be at 0 and the brightest part are at the top of the scopes. The vector scope is giving us more information about the hue and saturation values. This way we can see how saturated specific areas are in the clips we have selected. Thank you guys for following this introduction to the branded content mentorship. And in the upcoming videos we're going to set up a project the right way, exploring the color page and see how easy it is to always get those perfect skin tones. See you all in the next one.